Hello guys, we're making this video about our master's degree which we just completed in artificial intelligence. I and Babu are actually colleagues, and we're basing this topic based off what we learned, and we're just going to give this a title of my AI master's degree prepared me for nothing. See what I wish I knew. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, it's going to be the raw, unfiltered truth based off.
We would like to give an honest review, so it might be a bit depressing for those who are really ambitious about doing a master's in AI. So we would like to give a very honest review about it.
Yeah, and we might come back in 2 or 3 years and we might find out that we were wrong about our opinion. So just take this based off the truth we see for now. I feel like for a master's degree, it should be industry first and then theory second. The world is changing, and it's changing at a very rapid rate, in which prototyping and building is more of what fuels the whole, software and artificial intelligence as a whole. I felt like the curriculum should be more focused on project-based learning rather than writing theories and just doing assessments that nobody will read. Nobody read it. I don't even think they read it to grade the scores. So
yeah, I was expecting like master with a master's degree. Yes, we will be getting all the requirements needed to become an industrialist. But in our case, what I witnessed is completely different. We learned how to write project reports, academic reports. Other than that, we learned nothing.
Yeah, I think so. It actually fell flat in that regard. Okay, we did 4 coursework, 4 modules.
4 modules.
Broken into, I think, 8 modules.
Sure.
Yeah. So to me, I felt like evolutionary computing, which is, how scientists draw optimizations from biological functions, was something very familiar to me, but I felt it was unnecessary. We also learned something called fuzzy systems. I also felt it was unnecessary. I feel like those topics would have been replaced with something like computer vision, which we didn't go through. Sure. And maybe something like aeronautic engineering, maybe a little bit of drone piloting and those things, because I feel like AI, it's more about having machines do the work for you. But spending time in things like, optimization is also very important, but the world has moved far beyond biological inspiration for optimizations itself, and even for, and so I felt that topic was a total waste of my time. I don't know, I may be wrong, right, in the future, but
no, it's like we began this this program, this course itself with evolutionary computing and fuzzy logic, and actually we were really enthusiastic towards learning AI. But the first module itself, we found it like those are the things like evolutionary computing and fuzzy logic. These two were found to be like obsoleted one.
yeah.
And what we are expecting, because when we look into, when we do a Google search and all, we get to know about it, like even LinkedIn post and all, where we are right now in AI and what we are learning, that is not making any sense. And when we were comparing that with some other university modules, when we're talking with them, we get to know that actually how advanced they were. At the same time, what we were doing here, we were doing some mathematical computations, and that also with a MATLAB. MATLAB, I know MATLAB is very popular software and framework, but it is more I don't think so that is what industry needs. What do you think, Joe?
True. I think
the same thing actually they were learning with Python at the same moment, even evolutionary computing algorithm. I don't think so actually learning those stuff is not bad, but it is really important, like evolutionary computing algorithms and all, but it should be with the new
Yeah,
libraries or
yeah,
new frameworks. So that would have made more
yeah.
sense for
I
us.
think at some point I was asking deeply why learn this topic, right? I keep hearing optimization functions, optimization. I keep asking why are
True,
we learning
true. And
optimizations?
we were also learning that with the very typical functions.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we
We
got
know
to
that
find
actually
out.
later only after at the end of the module we found that actually these are the algorithms which we are using to solve a real world problem.
Yeah,
But we got introduced with the small functions. Maybe they might be making it more easy for us, but at least
yeah.
they could have given us a good
True.
introduction to what we are
Yeah,
learning and
and
why we are learning
true,
before we learn something.
true.
True. Oh
Oh
come
my
on,
God,
this question is
it's
real.
really deep.
It's
It's really
really
deep.
deep. Mm.
Um,
What we studied actually, we felt a lot of difference actually when, because the last January after almost 3 blocks are over and the next only one module left at the moment, when we were searching for a job and we were looking into the AI job descriptions, we found it completely different from what we are learning. Their tools, their requirements, and their frameworks they use are completely different from what we were learning at that moment. And we had a lot of conversation with even the professors also, right, about why it goes in this way. But we were helpless actually at the moment. So this question is actually very deep. What we learned right now, if you look into it, see, nobody cares about MSc MSc degree or the transcript. What they need is actually proof of work. In that case, I feel like we completed 4 modules, even a research. There were 4 or 5 months of research work, also thesis also we have, but I don't think so. I could meet the
yeah.
criteria of that, because they are looking for GitHub repositories or the proof of work, what we have done so far.
I think
But in
what
that case,
they would have focused on would be to really meet industry standards.
true,
We go mostly cloud first
true.
because AI is something that you can easily run on your PC, right? Like maybe you're building a mobile device or building a website, right? You need specific GPUs for
Yeah.
this. I think the first step they would have gone, which every industry requires, that if you're going to be an AI engineer training models, you should know a little bit of
Deployment, how to deploy AI
exactly,
model and how to
and also
integrate
use
AI
it into
features into that.
GPUs
True.
and stuff like that. So I think they fell short in that area.
True,
And
true. If they ask us if real feedback or an honest feedback from us, we would be really giving
I
that
think
actually.
cloud, instead of doing fuzzy logic, we should have put in cloud computing.
True.
And then cloud computing, where you learn about GPUs, deployment, and all those stuff. And then we take out evolutionary computing, and then we put in computer vision. I feel like that would have been better.
True, true.
Maybe computer vision and maybe drone technology. It makes a more robust curriculum in that way. And if you also checked it, we didn't use LLM as much as what the industry wants with LLMs to. We did.
We just got introduced to that actually. It's like we must have done a kind of crash course, like how we do this fine tuning and all.
True.
Like maybe a couple of hours, but not more than that. And then the problem was GPU was very limited.
Yeah. Compute is a problem.
So it was a big problem. You know that actually when you run any kind of model, when you fine tune it without GPU, you will get depressed no matter what. I in my case actually, how many times I have stopped. We start different projects. We'll talk about it at night. We'll sit for that, and then within hours we'll get fed up because we don't have that
The
GPU
compute
access in
and the
that way.
speed. True. So yeah, I think. But when I check about this, I checked most Korean and Chinese company, right? When I check the work that maybe the supervisors are doing or the postgraduate students are doing, they are building mostly what the industry wants. It's like it's really
That's the
correlated
thing.
with what the
Yeah,
industry
true,
wants.
true.
Um,
I feel like they have to work on the syllabus in the way like what industrial standard based on that they have to do it.
Because the field evolves so fast.
So
Like software engineering, I would love to also see what their curriculum on master's degree looks like. It's just a requirement, but it doesn't have a score point.
No, no.
It doesn't give you
They
any
might
added
they might
value.
tell you, oh, fabulous, oh, it's amazing that you have a degree. But other than that, the words, it's over. Then they will check it actually what we have done. Is there any real world implementation we have done? That's the way I think.
If it,
What we project to them, like we have done this and this is what we say based on that. Actually, they will create an impression about us, right? Hmm.
if it's a prestigious school, it might get you past the phone call stage, right? But when you go into the technical stage, nobody really cares about
True.
your what degree you went to, what school you went to. And these things they say it like it matters in tech, but if you're not in a research role, which you need maybe a PhD to go into, then I don't think a master's degree really puts you across any other person who just did a bachelor's degree.
Mm.
Your skills and capability actually is what differentiates you. I think outcome, the whole word respects outcome, not
Yeah, skills and proof
skills
of
and
work.
proof of
That
work.
would be the answer.
There are very distinguished AI professors and researchers which the world respects. But my opinion, I think the outcome of your work is what is respected. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And this is mostly around things like ML ops.
You should be the one who should
Yeah,
be able to answer that.
machine learning
Please go.
operation, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I think the most difficult thing here that I think it was not properly explained, but I understood it because of my background. It's tracking experiments. In machine learning, there are so many hyperparameters, which means that you would have to come to an optimal solution, you have to do a lot of experiments. These tools were never explored with us. It was never even mentioned. They just tell you you run the parameter, you run it, and then you record the results. These are old school. In industry
That what
environments,
we follow. True.
yeah, you
No,
shouldn't
but
be doing
true,
that.
true.
There are monitoring and there are tools like MLflow, TensorBoard, which you use to track these experiments. So I kept seeing that, but never ever did it. I think mostly around deployment is something that I kept seeing. Inferencing, yeah, inferencing is something that, yeah, that's it.
Other than PyTorch or PyTorch and TensorFlow library, we haven't touched anything in that way which industry needs. I feel like there's no industrial tools we
Yeah,
haven't
we didn't
used.
also
We didn't get
Hugging Face wasn't also mentioned.
through Hugging Face. We got to know it later at the end when we were
No,
doing the thesis.
I didn't know about Hugging Face, but
Okay, no, for me,
interacting with it is not. I think it takes a little bit of a learning curve to understand it, because my confusion on Hugging Face was transformers itself, right? You just have to install it like a library. You can install transformers, and then I didn't really understand the abstractions in Hugging Face.
so
Like,
you mean pre-trained AI models?
yeah, I
Okay.
really did not understand
Yeah.
the abstractions. So it took me a time to start understanding that these ones were the weight. And then you could load the weight itself and do your training, or you could just use a pipeline. The pipeline was also on that very confusing part for me. So, and I don't know how they wrote these things that they're able to use one abstraction that is the same pipeline for classification, for generation, for everything. It's amazing how
Yeah, in my
your
case,
project was awesome.
no, come on. It was mainly applied AI. One was both were on Clip itself.
Mhm.
How to apply Clip to fine tune hand images to for person identification. That mainly people can use it in criminal investigations.
Mhm.
But and the second one was actually you might be you must have said about right the e-commerce one.
Yeah, the
So that
e-commerce.
that was also in integrating an AI feature into e-commerce website. Like we can using an image how to filter the similar kind of images.
Yeah, like
So
similarity search, but with images.
with images, that's
Yeah,
it.
that one was awesome, because you could take one image. Say I have this shirt and I'm looking for it in an entire e-commerce store. I could get all the similar
Similar kind
images.
of
That
thing.
one was really applied AI.
No, actually, those projects actually made us to learn a lot compared to what we had studied
Yeah.
throughout the what we have studied throughout the modules.
I think every engineer would always feel imposter syndrome because you would always feel it because sometimes you see perfection in other people's work, right? Especially, I would say most of the Chinese. I wouldn't be, when DeepSeek came out and they spent about this, they said $5 million in training their model, right? If I was the engineer at OpenAI, I would feel like an imposter because they actually brought out a model that was better than mine with way less money. And I think imposter syndrome is something that would always run on the blood of every engineer. And I don't know. I feel like engineering itself is competition, so you must always have imposter syndrome.
True. But only for those who is more digging into LinkedIn posts.
No. You not even LinkedIn posts. When you visit a platform like Hugging Face and know that somebody created this vision and worked towards this goal and created this as perfectly as it is, you would feel some impost. Example: we use Git today. Everybody uses Git, but that was somebody's master's project. That's a different caliber of engineer, and you have to feel that way when you
Okay.
not scare you. But yeah, some days you feel like you're a god, and some days you feel like, oh my god, what the hell? What did I am? I'm nothing. I'm this and that. So
But I feel like I got more liberal right now. By seeing new technology, just adapt it and move on rather
you
than
have to because that's where the
rather than
world is.
thinking that come on, why I can't do anything.
You have to. That's what the world is
True.
is really on at this point.
Appreciate other people's
We
work
need to
and
be
then share
faster.
what we have. That
We
is
need to
what
be
what we
faster.
need to do.
Let's do this one.
Yeah. Looking back, was the degree a bad investment or just misaligned expectation? For me, it was not bad investment for me. It was a new experience, no matter what. Because I think every investment what we do either give an experience or give a good fortune, right?
6 years ago, I almost dropped out of university because I felt like my bachelor's degree was useless to me. But I finished it and I used it to do my master's later on in life, right? So if I look back, I wouldn't say my master's was a bad investment. It was the right thing to do, and I'm happy I did it because it showed me a lot of new things which I wouldn't have experienced back home. Um, if you could redesign the curriculum from scratch, what would it look like? Yeah, I think it's something I've continuously said over the course of the video.
True.
Yeah, I'm
It'll be
going to.
more industrial standard, and there
Yeah,
should be a provision like it's a 1 year course, right? In what I would suggest is like 1 year course, so we can't even stick with the with this will be the block we'll be going to study in this after 7 months, but rather after 6 months there must be some other new development or something. The syllabus or the block should be in the way like it should adapt all the state of art things. That should be the way. Actually, the process should need their courage, and they need their own their provision to change the curriculum according to the time.
yeah,
What do you think?
same thing. I think it's constantly changing. So
Especially in
um,
case of IT, I don't think so. In other department, it is needed, like in a project management or other. I don't think so. There should be a big change, but in this case, I feel like it's constantly
especially
changing. True.
software engineering and
Every
AI.
every every month, actually, there should be a revision of syllabus
True,
before they go for the block.
true. Before
And
each block, true.
true,
Before each
or
block.
at least they could do a they could do a discussion with the students, get a feedback from the students,
Mhm.
and then based on that actually
They
they
do
can
take feedback, but the
but
feedback
they
is for
take
the next batch, yeah,
that's
not
the
your
thing,
batch.
yeah, and they
So
take the feedback at the end of the block, not
yeah,
before the
for
block.
the next
Actually,
one, not for
beginning
you.
of the block they have to take it. This is what we are going to teach you guys.
Did you
uh,
add this to your feedback when you give them?
no, I know, see.
It's part of your problem when you come to study, actually.
No, because no, we already mentioned, right. Huh?
I know. We should take out um, evolutionary computing and fuzzy systems and bring in computer vision, maybe cloud computing, something that would be very necessary. It's like People go through full computer science degrees and not even use Git for once in their career. They know how to code, but they never used Git.
Yep.
And if you can't use Git, you cannot work in any environment, internships or anything. You're just not useful because you cannot collaborate. And I think maybe this also brings another point too. If I was to define a curriculum, every AI student is going to be working with people in other departments to solve real world problem. At the end of the day, you should be able to bring out full product from whatever you researched.
Yeah, that is something
I
really
wouldn't
fascinating
let
idea.
anybody do just think of something and do. You have to interconnect. You
True.
either connect with the game designers or the game engineers. We have, all the
Even the
cyber
project management
security.
people, they can
Yeah,
make use of it right
I,
very
I
well.
would I would sort of take an industrial approach because right now these schools can't release the employment rate for this ratio for their graduates from this course. I think a very innovative approach would be one AI, one software, one cybersecurity.
That makes really sense.
If 5 of you cannot produce something good, then you're not even going to pass your dissertation. Do you know what that means? That means that if I was working on a medical model, we would have maybe somebody from a medical field, one person from maybe software engineering to build the final prototype, one person from AI building the weights and whatsoever, and doing the model itself, and then you can have maybe one product manager who allocates and designs the end-to-end flow of the project, and that way they see what it feels like to work in an industry, and if they choose to make it an actual startup, it's also their opinion. So that's my thought about that. Actually, we don't have enough time, but let's just take
the last question.
Yeah, let's just do the last question.
For someone listening right now about to start their AI masters, what is your real advice?
I should take the bootcamp route together with your master's degree.
Come for master's degree only if you want to do a research or research perspective, it is okay. But I don't think so for an industrial purpose AI, or unless if you are going for a good university, I should say. You have to see the syllabus, go deep into it and make an understanding about that, and then if you feel like it is really important for you, then go for it. Because I feel like those people who are really interested in robotics and they came for an AI masters in AI here along with us would have got something in their hand. I don't think so. They must have got
That's why
really
I said there are a lot of bootcamp, but I would say take the bootcamp along with the master's degree. Take the bootcamp if you are interested in computer vision, then take the computer vision bootcamp along with the master's degree. If you're interested in robotics, take a robotics bootcamp along with the master's degree. This gives you a very competitive edge, right? Because bootcamp teaches you to face the world. The school teaches you the theoretical aspect, and I think lastly, education is what you get out of it. It is not what is being handed over to you. So if you go in, just make sure you get something out of it. I did get something out of my degree. I'm very sure you got something out of yours too.
Yeah, true.
Don't say no.
Yeah, I got it.
And yeah, this will be the end of this session till we meet again to discuss. And we're still working on tutorials to bring to you guys. We're still struggling to make the video, struggling to edit it. It's not that easy.
Editing is something which we are
very difficult,
very
but
difficult. But
we are becoming
learning
pros.
it.
Yeah, we're becoming pros.
True.
So see you guys next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.